Thank you very much for watching. We're using a different orientation tonight, and I don't know if my phone likes it, but JF's joining me tonight.
Hi, everybody.
My roomie for the last few days. We worked together at Board and Dice last year at Essen, and we're working together here. We're kind of tag teaming the Trismegistus demos. I'm demoing in the morning, and then he's taking over in the afternoon. Yeah, hopefully the live stream is working, but yeah, with my phone saying orientation is locked, rotate device back, I don't know if it is actually. Yeah, so normally the chat comes up at the bottom. The chat is coming up at the bottom, but it's sideways and it's faded out. So we can just about read it. You tell us about the day that you've had, and I'll pull the chat up on my iPad.
Yeah, busy. First of all, really nice to be on. My first time at UKGE. Paul and I have been working together as demoing previously. So this is my first UKG. I demoed Trismegistus yesterday and today.
It's all that they're demoing at the Board and Dice booth.
Yeah.
They've got a smallish booth.
Yeah.
2 tables with Trismegistus, which we're kind of doing, and another guy. And they're also demoing the new Trismegistus Roll and Write as well.
Exactly.
But that's the only games that they have here that they're demoing.
So I had a whole day of just demoing. So that's what I've been doing. I got a few moments to run around the halls, shake some hands, check out some games. Not that much demo. I've been demoing today.
You've been doing most of the day.
But I haven't tried any new games today. But hopefully tomorrow I'm going to be trying some new games. I've got my morning is free, so I've already booked in something. I booked in a little session of Snowdonia, actually, for tomorrow.
So I'm watching this back and it looks like we are sideways.
Yeah, we could just flip it, right?
So yeah, it looks like we're sideways, which is why my phone doesn't like it. I don't know why it doesn't like it, but this is the first time I've landscaped a live stream. So we're going to go that way, and hopefully
I can hold it up a bit for you.
Better, it should go there. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? It's going to work.
Don't move.
Right, don't move. It's all balancing, resting on a power cable. Yeah, so yeah, that's what it looks like to everybody else. We've been sideways for the last 2 minutes, but hopefully it's
all your necks are back.
Hopefully it's okay now. I'll run some more tests and see if it works. Yeah. So you've not had chance to go out and try any new games?
Sadly, not today, but I love demoing.
Yeah.
It's so fun, and Paul's done a fantastic script, so we can really
nailed it,
and get players straight into the action.
Yeah.
And just do fun stuff with the game.
Yeah. So, what games have you had your eye on that were coming out at UK Games Expo that you would have gone to go and see if you had time?
I'm definitely curious about the new pandemic system.
Okay. The Fate of the Fellowship.
Exactly.
Which is available, and I'm trying to pick up a copy tomorrow if I can. But yeah,
absolutely that one.
It does look good.
Yeah, that will be the number one that I'm most curious about. And then the new Devere, obviously new...
Transgalactica.
Exactly.
With the new rulebook.
Always curious about anything that's coming from there.
Yeah.
So that would be the ones that I can come up top of mind at the moment. Okay. How about you?
The only ones that, if I wasn't doing what I do and I was here as a punter, would be Luthia from Pavison Games.
Definitely, yeah.
I've covered that on the channel. I've already picked my copy here, but I'm saying, yeah, if gaming rules wasn't a thing, and I was just here as Paul Grogan, the games I would be looking at would be Luthia, it would be Transgalactica, the obvious choices really, the new Fighting Fantasy Adventures game from Martin Wallace, which is released here, the Mandalorian expansion, which wasn't going to be here, but is. Oh. They did have a limited number of copies here.
That's nice.
I have picked a copy of that up as well. I've also picked up Quartermaster General East Front, which is actually a game from a couple of years ago. But it appeared on BGA, and I'm like, oh, a 2-player version of Quartermaster General. So I've tried playing it on BGA. I like it. I've got a good relationship with Ares Games. So I asked for a copy of that one. And they've got coming out this year, Quartermaster General Southfront, which is another 2-player game set in the... Right. I say the Quartermaster General universe, World War II, basically. So that's not out yet. They've got that for display. But yeah, that'll be their new Quartermaster General 2-player game that's coming out later this year. So yeah, those really. I can't think of what else I've picked up yet.
Okay.
But yeah.
Have you explored all the halls? At the moment, or?
Only on my way to where I'm going to see people. So yeah, like I was saying to various people, because of what I do in the industry, my days of walking around and looking at things and going, oh, that's interesting, I'll get a demo of it.
Yeah.
I deliberately blinker myself because
Yeah.
I don't have any time for anything like that anymore. So yeah, people could be saying, oh, what have you seen? What looks good? And I'm like, no idea. Ask somebody else. I don't know whatsoever. So big thing for me today.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Ian Livingston, the guy who, with Steve Jackson, not the American Steve Jackson, the British Steve Jackson, created the first ever fighting fantasy book, Warlock of Far Top Mountain, in 1982, and then went on to form Games Workshop. So meeting him for the first time happened a few years ago. So that was a... So the first time I found out he was at UK Games Expo when I was there, I didn't go and see him.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't have the courage. I spent 3 days trying to pluck up the courage to go and speak to him, and I failed.
I can relate to that.
I just couldn't. And then the next year I thought, this is stupid, Paul. He gets this all of the time. Just go up and say, I'm a big fan, like everybody else is to him, and just whatever. So I did. So I plucked up the courage. This is about 3 years ago now, I think. And I actually went over and spoke to him. Now, of course, I'm just one of hundreds of people that would have gone up and said, I bought your book in 1982. You know, he's heard that story so many times before. But for me, working now in the industry, and it all started because of that.
Yeah.
If I hadn't have bought that book in that bookshop in 1982, I probably wouldn't be doing what I do now. You know, that was the catalyst for that. Now, over the last 12 months, I've been lucky enough to be professionally involved in 2 licensed IP games to the Fighting Fantasy universe. The Martin Wallace one, which was released at UK Games Expo, the retail version of it, and the upcoming Fighting Fantasy Quest game, which I did the interview with the designer a week or so ago on the channel. And Vicky said to me, have you ever had your photo taken with Ian Livingston? And I'm like, no. And I've like met him a few times now, and it's like, I'm not the kind of person who goes around getting selfies all the time with everybody. But I've done it today. And I've done it for me.
Wow.
I've not done it to post on Facebook and go, look, here's me with Ian Livingston. I've done it for me, so that I've got a photo of me with Ian Livingston. In fact, I got 2.
Nice.
So what I did, and I'll post these to my Slack channel later on, but I've got a photo with me, Martin Wallace, and Ian Livingston with Martin Wallace's game, and me, Paul Tadderas, Ian Livingston, and a copy of the prototype of the other Fighting Fantasy game. And I'll just get this.
Yeah, you got it.
Where have I put it? Here. So this is this is the new Martin Wallace Fighting Fantasy Adventures game. If you didn't see it yesterday or the day before, so this is my 1982 copy of Warlock of Far Top Mountain, which is now signed by Ian Livingston. But what was really funny is Ian picked it up. And the first thing he did is he looked inside and he went, this isn't an original printing. This is the 4th print. So the game was so popular the book was so popular when it came out in 1982 that they did 4 print runs in 1982. Wow. And this is the 4th print run.
How could you see that?
Because it says reprinted 1982 4 times. So this is the 4th print run. But this is the original. They didn't change anything on this, I don't think, from the original version. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the original. But I'd said to Ian, this is my original copy of Warlock of Far Top Mountain, and Ian looked at it and went, nah, it's not. He said, I might just bend the spine back and so yeah, we had a bit of banter. That was quite fun. But as I say, Ian must get it all of the time. The lives that he's touched, the impact that he's had on the hobby. You know, they brought Dungeons and Dragons across to the UK in the early 80s. He didn't design Warhammer, but he's responsible for bringing Warhammer into, you know, people's lives and things like that, because it was published through Games Workshop and he approved it, and we see what Warhammer's... I found out today, and I didn't realise this, but Games Workshop is now on the FTSE 100 index. It's higher than Greg's.
Whoa, Greg's?
Yeah.
with so many
So
shops all over the
yeah,
place.
so Games Workshop is higher on the FTSE 100 index than Greg's.
Talk about impact.
People like little plastic soldiers rather than they like sausage rolls.
Yeah.
I think
Who knew?
is the tagline. So yeah, so that's been quite a big day for me that I finally got my photo taken with him, and yeah, and to be honest, this is why one of the reasons why I'm getting involved in the Fighting Fantasy Adventures games, because they're not the kind of games that I cover on the channel now, but because I have such a, and it's not just nostalgia, it's more than nostalgia. It's such a strong tie to these original books and this IP that I'm very interested in. And we actually played it tonight. We actually played the Martin Wallace, the demo scenario for the Fighting Fantasy Adventures, which is the one that I covered on the channel about a year and a half ago. But we played it tonight with some people, and it's exactly what it does on the tin. You go around, you roll dice, you fight monsters, you open the left door, it's the bad choice. And I was basically explaining to the people tonight that these books, they weren't designed to be played in one sitting, right? Because what will happen is you will get the choices, or do you want to attack the orc or talk to the orc? Okay, I'm gonna talk to the orc. Oh, okay, well the orc stabs you, take 2 damage, and now you've got to fight him. Okay, so the next time I play, because you probably won't survive the first time you play, the next time you play, you're like, right, next time, when I meet that orc, I'm not going to try talk to him, I'm just going to attack him. So what other game that has come out in the last 10 years do you not complete the first time you play it, but then you go back and you replay it, but you learn things each time you play it until eventually you succeed?
Yeah. What would it be?
Time stories.
That's exactly, yeah.
So I've always said that these are the same as the book. What Time Stories did is they gave a thematic reason for why you're doing it again.
Oh, yeah.
But essentially, there's so many. I see so many similarities between the two core concepts. Because you do replay them.
That is,
until you manage to do it.
That's such a good comparison.
And it's like, well, hang on a minute, that's almost the same. And it was the same tonight. So one of the examples is, and this isn't really giving any spoilers away, but in this demo scenario, you come into a room, there's 3 chests, you have to decide which one to open, and then you flip the card over to see what happens.
Yeah.
And it tells you on the other side, oh, if you picked the or the then all the chests dissolve and you don't get anything. So we were like, right, okay. But the next time we play it, we now know which chest we need to open. Yeah. So I think they are designed to be replayed multiple times, and eventually you will work it out. What have you played tonight? Because you were coming back to the hotel, and then I got back here before you, and I was like, well, where are you? You said you were coming back.
I was knackered, and then I just passed by a table, and they just grabbed me and say, you're playing Bonanza with us.
Bonanza, classic.
Classic, and
absolute classic.
I played it before, but I've only played it
once.
But I showed them how I wheel and deal, and I managed to eke out a little victory, 1-point victory. So a little Bonanza, and then after that we played a game called Walk the Plank.
That sounds like a silly fun party game.
Exactly. Okay. So you're just pushing each other around, but it was fun. No sharp objects or anything like that. So just silly, random, fun games.
Okay. And if people out there don't know what Bonanza is, you might think that a game called Agricola put Uwe Rosenberg on the map. Well, it did. Yeah. But Uwe Rosenberg designed Bonanza many years before Agricola came out. I was playing Bonanza when I seriously got into board games, which was like, 99, 2000, something like that. And Bonanza still holds up. It's a really interesting game because you trade beans with each other from your hand.
Yeah.
But when you trade them from your hand, it doesn't go into the other player's hand. It goes into their field.
Exactly.
And I must have played the game for years.
Yeah.
And then eventually I worked out and I went, oh, okay, I'm going to trade you a red bean for a red bean. People were like, well, what's the point of that? And I'm like, because it gets it out of my hand and into my field. And so the trading is quite clever.
And it's also, you can't shift the cards in your hand.
Yes. Oh yeah, they're fixed, aren't they?
They're fixed.
Yeah.
So you know what you're forced to play the next round. So sometimes you're collecting a certain type of bean and you don't want the next bean in your hand, so you're just shifting it off. You're just giving it away to whoever wants it because you know that you don't have space for it. So it's so clever. Clever, nice with colleagues or just like casual game with the family or stuff like that when you're gathering. So it's right up my alley after a whole day of Euro.
Yeah, well, I played another game as well tonight. After we'd finished Fighting Fantasy Adventures, there was about, I think, 5 or 6 of us, and we were all kind of in the mood for another game, but we wanted something quite light. And they got out World Wonders, which is a fantastic game, but it's like a 45-minute light to medium game. And we're all like, nah, we want something a bit lighter. So the 2 options on the table were Fishing, the trick-taking game from Freedom and Priest that I've played a whole bunch of time, and That's Not a Hat. Now, straight away, you get a little game out in a little pink box that says, That's Not a Hat, and I'm like, well, I'm going to hate this game. And Thomas basically described it, and he said, this is a memory game, right? And they all smiled at me because they know memory games are not my thing. And he said, and it's kind of got a little bit of bluffing. And I'm like, why am I playing this? And it was actually really good fun. It was exactly what I needed for that time of night. We played 3 games of it, and it was good fun. And we had a laugh. And my thing with silly party games is if they work as a game, great. If they're just go round the table, drawing a card, looking at a silly picture, reading some flavour text, target player skips their next turn, stand on your head, I'm not interested. But this actually worked as a game. Very, very simple concept. And yeah, it was good fun. So we played 3 games of That's Not a Hat. Dale says, are we talking about Bonanza? Yes, we were talking about Bonanza, which you played tonight. I didn't. So the plan for tomorrow is we have to check out. Yeah. Because I'm
curious to see what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, because the room's kind of a bit of a mess and there's all stuff everywhere. But I'm going back home tomorrow. Stephen Cooper is going to be driving me home almost as soon as the show finishes. We're going to help pack up the booths a bit. But you're sticking around.
Yeah, I'm leaving back to Sweden on Tuesday, so I have nothing planned after that. So I'll probably get a hotel in Birmingham or wherever and just explore the area.
So you have the hotel booked obviously for tonight.
For tonight.
But Sunday night, you do not have a hotel
I don't have any.
If anybody wants to put him up, he doesn't snore.
I don't snore.
No.
But I have earplugs with me in case I do.
Just in case.
And you can gladly have them and use them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just
but you might get on a train somewhere.
I'll jump on somewhere, explore the area, and then my flight leaves on Tuesday from Birmingham Airport.
Right. So, and was that because of flight times, or you just wanted to?
No, I just wanted to. I've been to some parts of the UK, but I've never been in this area.
Right.
So I just wanted to get some extra days off and explore, and also just, after a convention, I just want to like land on my feet, just be in a normal setting, in a city or in a countryside, wherever, and just like recalibrate myself before I regain energy and go back to home and back to work and back to my wife.
It is a bit weird because I'll be going back on Sunday night. I'll go back. I'll spend the evening with Vicky, and then go to bed. And then Monday morning she gets up and goes to work, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's Monday morning. It's the next day. Now I will be trying to take it a little bit easy on the Monday. I've got loads of admin stuff to do, so it'll probably be a day at home in my dressing gown, just doing all of the computer admin and things like that, and starting to read through the rule book for the games that I'm going to be covering on Friday, because I've got sponsored playthroughs on Friday coming for Kinfire Delve and Kinfire Chronicles. So I need to get my brain into, starting
back
to
in
learn
the
them.
routine,
which I'm not complaining because I love it, but it's just it's I can see the taking 2 days off after you've been at a convention.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're just going from one crazy rushing around thing to another one. The halls today they started off better. Okay. It was actually nice and cool this morning. And
the AC was blaring today.
And I put my shorts on today, but by the time it got to 1 or 2 o'clock, I was feeling faint again. It's just way too hot.
Yeah, because in the morning I was like, okay, I've got my shorts on. Thanks, Paul, for that. I'm freezing because the AC is on. No one's in there.
Yeah.
But like after an hour or two, it was back up to quite a high temperature.
Yeah, so it was a little bit uncomfortable, and in previous years I don't remember it being that hot, but that might be my memory. Might be that isn't don't remember it. So I don't think we've got much else to say, really. People in the chat are being good. Nobody's saying, "Oh, what games have you seen that are really good? What do you recommend?" Nobody's asking that because no, they're not asking that because I've spent the last 2 days saying, "Don't bother asking that because because I can't answer those questions." But yeah, that's everything. So thank you very much for watching. I don't know whether I'll do one tomorrow because as soon as the show finishes, it's take down the booth. I'll get in the car. I'll go home. And then when I get home, I just want to spend time with Vicky. So the last thing I want to do is say, hi, Vicky, but actually now just leave me alone while I do this live stream or something. So yeah, I'm not sure. I might do another live stream tomorrow, but I won't have that much to say. It will be, I've been demoing all morning, then I've been rushing around and just saying hello to a few more people, and that's it. There won't really be much else. I don't know if I've actually got any meetings tomorrow. Let's just have a quick look at my calendar, if my calendar is in here. Calendar, because I had a lot today and a lot yesterday. No, nothing. So I literally have free time. So if anybody is at UK Games Expo, wants to come and say hello, my last my last demo will be finishing somewhere around 1 o'clock, 1:15-ish. And from then I am free until the halls close at 4. So
I have the last shift after you there.
Right.
So I'll see it through until 4.
Yeah.
So if you come by, say hi, and shake hands and
demo Trismegistus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good. The thing for me is when I demo the same game over and over again, and I can see the players, enjoying it because of the way we're demoing it and everything else, it makes me enjoy the game more.
Yeah.
So they said to me, one of the people today, they said, well, you're clearly like an expert at this game because you know it through and through and you're giving us all of this stuff. How many times have you played it? I said twice. Mm-hmm. Twice, but this is my 9th demo this weekend. So yes, I know it absolutely like the back of my hand because I've spent all of this time demoing it. And it feels like I've got way more experience with the game than just my 2 plays. Because when you're demoing it, you have to know it to that level, but you also learn it on a different level. I don't know. I just feel now that I've played it a lot more than twice.
Yeah.
Apparently, I need to accept the game on BGA. Okay, I've been sent an invite for a game on BGA that I haven't. I've been busy.
I love that they're in the chat reminding
me that I need to take my turn in my online games or something.
There's important things here.
There is.
Yeah.
Right, and we're not going to stay up talking till 1:30 in the morning, are we?
We'll see, but
well, we both got back very late last night, and then we were up chatting because I'd had a very emotional day yesterday.
Yeah.
And then we just got chatting about everything, and then we looked at the clock and went, it's 1:30.
Yeah.
Better try and get some sleep.
So, yeah, it was a lovely night, lovely evening.
Yeah, we've been a bit sensible tonight, and we've come back early.
Yep.
Boogie's asking, are we drinking? Yep, absolutely. I've got my bottle of water on the hard stuff.
Definitely on the hard stuff. Water and Fisherman's Friends.
Yes, Fisherman's Friends, licorice flavoured Fisherman's Friends.
Yeah, hit you hard.
It hit me hard, very hard.
And
for those people who don't know, Fisherman's Friends are available throughout the world. Fisherman's Friends are actually made in a town called Fleetwood, and I lived 27 years of my life 2 miles away from where Fisherman's Friends were made. So when I see people around the world, and they're popular in the Czech Republic as well, you see people with these Fisherman's Friends, and I'm like, yeah, I used to live very close to where they are made. But these licorice ones, I assume they are still made in Fleetwood, but
they're called salmiak.
Yeah, which is a special sort of Scandinavian-y,
Finnish
strong
kind
licorice-y type thing.
Exactly, yeah. Can't find it now, obviously. Why would I have everything prepared? No. So yeah, they're much more pungent.
They are.
Here they are.
There you go. So these are my Fisherman's Friends for those people who've never seen them, and the original. Have you ever had original flavoured Fisherman's Friends?
I don't think so.
Because they're very, very unusual.
Okay.
But then over the years, decades, they've done lots of different flavours. So my query is: are these available anywhere else other?
I have to look tomorrow.
Scandinavia. I don't know. I don't know if you can get them in the UK.
Menthol flavour,
but for when you're talking a lot, things like that really, really do help. So anyway, we're going to disappear now. Thank you very much to everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed these video logs. As I say, I might do another one tomorrow, but maybe not. And if I don't, yeah, just thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you here next year.